Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we have a very special one-hour show as we look back at 2012 and bring you all the highlights in EBTV's Year in Review. 2012 was a busy year for EBTV as we celebrated a milestone of 1,500 episodes of This Week in East Brunswick, and we'll take the next hour to look back at some of the most memorable moments of 2012. But first, just because Hanukkah and Christmas are over doesn't mean it's too late to enjoy a holiday light spectacular. The Dare New Jersey Light Fest is taking place now at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds and runs through the first week of January. Sydney Contrino has more on this wonderful display.
Hi, I'm Sydney Contrino for This Week in East Brunswick. I'm here at the Middlesex County Fairgrounds for the Light Fest. What is the New Jersey Holiday Light Fest? Think hundreds of thousands of lights and too many to count over-the-top holiday decorations. Can you tell us a little bit about the Holiday Light Fest?
The Holiday Light Fest is an event that is a mile long that you drive through with your family and friends. And it's just a really great, fun way for people to enjoy the holidays. Dare New Jersey is the largest statewide law enforcement ran charity in the United States. We bring officers into the school and teach them the DARE program.
What does DARE stand for?
Drugs, Abuse, Resistance, Education. We are a drug and violence prevention program in the schools.
How much work does it take to put something like this together?
Well, the crews have been working since about end of October, so right before Hurricane Sandy came through, and they were out here putting things together, and then right after they were out here again putting more things together. There's about 2 million lights in the park, so it's, definitely a fun time. We are open 7 days a week starting at 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday, we are open until 9 p.m. On Fridays and Saturdays and holidays, we're open till 10 p.m. And also on Sundays, we're open till 9 p.m.
What are the costs to get in and see the lights, and are there any discounts available?
Yes, it is $15 Monday through Thursday per carload, so pack people into the car. On Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays, it is $20 per carload. We do have discount tickets available on our website, or you can purchase them at your local Walgreens. If you log on to lightfestnewjersey.com, you'll be able to definitely buy your discounted tickets there and see what's happening.
Who benefits from the funds raised at this event?
The Dare New Jersey programs. So the programs statewide benefit from the proceeds.
Is there anything else you'd like residents to know about the Dare New Jersey Holiday Light Fest?
Yes, we're here until January 6th, so definitely come on down. It's a fun, safe, drug-free environment that is good for the whole entire family.
What a fun way to celebrate the holiday season. Come out and see for yourself. The Light Fest runs through January 6th every day of the week starting at 5:30 p.m. For This Week in East Brunswick, I'm Sydney Contrino.
And from holiday lights to carnival lights, we stay at the fairgrounds for a look back at the 2012 Middlesex County Fair, which took place back in August.
The Middlesex County Fair, Sydney, is what a fair should be. I particularly like the 4-H students who are showing what they've done, because they not only learn biology and animal husbandry and all of that, they also learn leadership and responsibility and patience. So that's great. But of course, the rides, the food, all of the booths, it's the Middlesex County Fair really is what a fair should be.
Well, obviously for me, one of the draws to come out here was how rural everything was. Having been born and raised in the city and still working in the city, it's nice to come home and drive past farms and still be able to buy your corn and your produce from a local farmer. I used to see the cows down on Cranberry Road, and then know to come home I could just walk barefoot in the grass. You can't do that when you're in the city, when you grow up in the city. So it really is it was a great contrast for me in lifestyle, and it was a great place really to raise my kids. I'm much happier that I was able to bring my kids out to a town like East Brunswick and grow up in this type of environment. The food is always fantastic. There's always something here that I try every year that's a little different. And just the energy, just the crowd, just the people. There's always interesting vendors. And from time to time, actually, over the years, the list of entertainers and performers that have come here they keep turning it up a notch every year. So there's really always something for somebody. But I'm a foodie, so I lean towards the food. That's what I seek out every year. Well, I guess it was about 5-6 years ago, Cookie came up to me, Cookie Pollock, and asked me to become Master of Ceremonies. I had done some events with the East Brunswick Chamber of Commerce, and being from NBC, working at NBC, I think they thought that would kind of be a nice fit and be able to MC the event and hopefully get more people to come on out. I don't know if they do or not, but it's always a pleasure for me and it's a privilege to be asked. But I hope they invite me back next year too.
Why is it so important to have the fair here in East Brunswick?
Look, I think East Brunswick, to me, as the mayor of the town, and I think each resident of East Brunswick thinks that our town is the best town in Middlesex County. As I like to say, even to my fellow mayors of South Brunswick and North Brunswick, welcome to the best of the Brunswicks. So I think it's great that the Middlesex County Fair, East Brunswick is the home to this fair. I think the fact that it brings the community together, it's another way that here in East Brunswick for 74 years, residents of East Brunswick get together, have fun, learn about the farming community. So I think in that way, it's a great way of, like I said, getting us together. And also importantly, the farming community is so important to here in East Brunswick. Here's an opportunity for people who don't usually think about farming, learn more about farming. We have the community gardens in East Brunswick and how successful that's been. So obviously people in East Brunswick care about farming. So it's a great way for them to show their wares, show the fact that they make great pies from some of the products that they grow, and also an opportunity to exhibit some of their produce. So, come out to the fair. It's a great way to celebrate Middlesex County, a great way to celebrate East Brunswick.
As Mayor Stahl said, local produce and agriculture plays a vital role in not only the county fair, but the township and state as a whole. Highlighting the importance of local farmers, the first ever winter farmers market was held at the Community Arts Center in March. The indoor market, sponsored by the East Brunswick Friends of the Environmental Commission, was such a success that there are plans to turn it into an annual event.
So, Mayor, tell us about this exciting event. How did it come about?
This was Teresa Lamb and the Environmental Commission really came up with this idea with Dave Moskowitz and his leadership. The Environmental Commission, the Friends of the Environment Commission have done so many great things in our community. They brought to my table the idea of doing this indoor market for farmers market. Fantastic idea, absolutely gave it all the support we needed from the township, and as you can see here, the crowds are beyond expectation. Had to make a quick phone call to public safety and make sure we had officers for crowd control, but from everyone I've talked to up here, they love it. It's not only can you get products, you're getting information about how you can be more environmentally friendly, so it's a beyond expectation. I'm sure you're going to hear from Teresa. Absolutely fantastic.
And how do you feel about having this kind of community-wide event?
Again, this is the Community Arts Center. It's not only just for plays and music. This is a place where, again, our community can gather, learn about farmers, buy some local products, and it's also an opportunity, as you said, for the community to get together and talk about what's going on. So it's been a great day in East Brunswick, and what's amazing is the event started at 10. They were actually lined up before 10 o'clock to get in here. So I know that they're already talking about what we can do for the summer, so whatever they want to do, we're going to find a way to expand this venue and make this something that becomes a regular staple here in East Brunswick.
Oh, how wonderful. So you see a future for this?
Absolutely, because not only is it good for the community, it's also good for the local farmers. I mean, New Jersey is a great community. It's one of the largest farming states in the country. A lot of small farms, so we have some of our own farmers here. In the summertime, we can help them with their own crops. So again, I think we're going to, first step, huge success, so we're definitely going to grow on it.
The idea of having a farmers market started a long time ago, I think, together with the idea of having a community garden and with whole, the trying to keep things local, grow your own food, buy from local farmers. And, it took a while to actually make it happen, but we're very happy and fortunate that with the help of the towns and the hard work of the Friends board members, we're actually here with all those wonderful vendors and a lot of people who are coming and enjoying the day.
And you must be very excited by the turnout here today.
I am very excited, more than excited. I never expected so many people here. As a matter of fact, we were worried that we wouldn't get much of a turnout, so this is incredible.
To me, it seems like a community event, would you say?
That's what we wanted it to be, to bring everybody together at a community event to celebrate, nature and natural things and be together.
And tell me, David, for some people who are not familiar with the Environmental Commission, could you tell us a little bit about this organization and what it does?
Well, the organization is the Friends of the Environmental Commission. Not sure how anybody wouldn't know about it, but they may not know us by name, but I guarantee they know us by our projects. Community Garden, Butterfly Park, Moth Nights, Big Tree Contest, Green Lectures, Green Living Club, Salamander Crossings. We do so many things. And if you don't know the Friends, join the Friends. It's free, and all of those things you can participate in. We do them all year long. Join us.
So the acts of the Environmental Commission are really growing, and it's just becoming bigger and bigger, and it's something that we really hope to expand because the environmental issues are very important to our community.
It seems it makes good environmental sense and good economic sense as well.
Yes, it is. It's really great for both things, and it's fun. So we want to have people have fun.
And it sounds like people are having a lot of fun.
They are. We have the community musicians here as well, and some of the kids that are, young adults, and some of them that are still in school, and they're really doing a great job. They're volunteering their time. So again, it's bringing community and volunteers together in multiple ways. So if you like the environment, you're science-oriented, you can find something here. If you like music, you can find something here. If you just like to eat, you can find something here. I do want to say it's a great use of the Community Arts Center. So the Community Arts Center is a relatively new building. We have plays here, but as part of Heavenly Farms, it's a great addition where we can have people focused out in the fields, which really are the jewel of East Brunswick.
From local farmers to local businesses, 2012 was a prosperous year for the township as Mayor David Stahl continued his popular segment, Business Spotlight. East Brunswick welcomed several new businesses to town, including Harbor Freight Tools, Sarku Japan, Cups Frozen Yogurt, and many more. Renovations also took place at the Brunswick Square Mall, including the addition of Panera Bread. There was also a grand reopening of Pine Ridge Park, a project that was years in the making, but was well worth the wait.
This park, as you know, took many, many years to actually come to fruition. It was a challenging park because of the multi-levels here. But I think one of the wonderful things about this truly neighborhood park is what the residents, in terms of the input that you provided our design team, in terms of what you wanted in your neighborhood park, has really come out to be one of the best parks in East Brunswick. I mean, if you want to play tennis, basketball, next year the T-ball, and you've got this beautiful recreation activities for the children, it really is a phenomenal park for your neighborhood.
Because we have a beautiful new park. It looks terrific, and I hope all of us spend a lot of time here and have a great opportunity to play outside. I also wanted to announce that the Pine Ridge neighborhood is bringing back our tradition of having an annual picnic. It's scheduled for September 15th. It's a Saturday in September. In June, you'll be getting a notice for volunteers to come to a meeting. The fact is, we need more volunteers or we can't have the picnic. So when you get that letter, that little green letter in your mailbox, please make sure you come to the meeting and volunteer. We always can use help.
Can you tell me a little bit about the challenges the township faced while renovating this park?
This park, we have a lot that goes on in a small little area. We have 2 tennis courts that were built. We have a basketball court. We have a smaller baseball field, as well as a playground in a very, very tight area. So what we had to do was we had to start on the one end of the project and work our way out. And it was more time consuming. It took longer to do it that way. We wouldn't normally have done a park this way, but it was our only choice because our only access was via the parking lot.
Pretty much anything that anyone wants to do outside here in the neighborhood of Pine Ridge, they can do. It's a great park.
I think this park will help to keep building the community spirit that the neighborhood has as an organization and as just a plain neighborhood. Sometimes people get together because there's a problem, and other times people get together because there's a solution, or they're just getting together because it's fun and they're having recreation. And having a social event here at the park or having people socialize at the park is only going to help build the community of East Brunswick.
So I've seen the park from when I was a kid go from a park you could come and play at to a park that was in total disrepair to now this gorgeous park that we can come to. I walk through here every day when I take my walks, and it's just gorgeous.
I've lived here since October 1st, 1973. I really like the kids section of the park, the new equipment and stuff that they can views. It's really, really nice.
I have lived here for 34 years. I like everything about the park, for the adults and for the children.
We now go from the opening of a park to the unveiling of a 9/11 memorial. The East Brunswick Independent Fire Company, District 2, dedicated a steel beam recovered from the World Trade Center in memory of not only the victims of September 11th, but as a way to honor the company's fallen members.
On behalf of Chief Witham and myself, I'd like to welcome you to our deceased members of September 11 Memorial dedication. The memorial, we received a letter in the latter part of 2009 from the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey asking us if we wanted a piece of steel recovered from the World Trade Center. The reason for this offer was due to our response into the city on that day. So many of us were impacted, not only by the response into Brooklyn. In the coming months, many of us attended numerous funerals throughout the city. So on September 7, 2010, we received a 1-ton piece of vertical steel. Though we don't know which tower it came from, we were fortunate to get one of the first pieces of steel in our county. In the early stages of planning, it was decided that we would not only memorialize September 11th, but we include a memorial to our deceased members. We picked May of 2012 for the dedication, as both our 74th year of existence and the 10th anniversary of the last piece of steel to be removed from the World Trade Center site all occurred in May.
Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism I tried to design into this memorial. As you enter the memorial, if you look down, you'll see a ladder. The ladder has 9 rungs. The sides become the 11, giving you the symbolism of 9/11. The main walk of the memorial is the footprint of a fire helmet. Within that helmet, there are 3 lights built into the paver on each side, and then on the back there are 4 lights. So it creates a 3-4-3 representing 343 firefighters who lost their lives on 9/11. And then on the back of the memorial, you have the shield, which is the Independent Fire Company's portion of the memorial, which has their deceased members' names on the back, and on the front, they replicates their shield. And in the center of the memorial, the most important part, I feel, has the beam from the World Trade Center, and that represents almost 3,000 lost souls that day, and it's a very important symbol to me. It was very important to place the beam above ground and not just have it placed on the ground in cement and not have the respect that it deserves. It should always have respect and dignity.
East Brunswick also honored its first responders and veterans with the annual Memorial Day and Veterans Day observances.
The men and women of the U.S. military are the finest fighting force in the world and perhaps in the history of the world. And we honor them here today and those who have served in the past because they are deserving of that honor. And as Mayor Stahl says, and people all the time, did we think about them on Election Day? Do we think of them enough? I don't think that this war has brought to the American people the consequences that it should bring to the American people. We are fighting a war where men and women are fighting over there, and we have not here spent the capital, our capital, enough to support them. I read a book written by a gentleman from East Brunswick. His name is Angus Gillespie. He's a professor over in Rutgers. And he talks about the Holland Tunnel. Did you know that the Holland Tunnel, the most breakdowns were during World War II? Why? Because all our rubber went there. All of our parts went there. Everybody worked here to make sure they had everything they needed. This country committed itself, along with its men and women, to win. And I think we deserve, our men and women deserve that same support. And not just when they're over there, but when they come home.
EBTV is happy to continue our coverage of East Brunswick High School sports and would like to congratulate all the student athletes on another terrific year. The amount of time and dedication required of student athletes is remarkable, yet they still find time to give back to the community. Just ask the girls varsity volleyball team as they raised money to fight breast cancer during their annual Live Pink volleyball game.
Tonight we have our third annual Live Pink volleyball game where we are trying to raise awareness and support and money for breast cancer research. We have a nice JV game and a varsity game going on. We're selling breast cancer products, a bake sale. We have raffles. We're having a 50-50. And all our proceeds go to the Cure Breast Cancer Foundation. 3 years ago, one of my players, her name is Emery Childs, has somebody who had breast cancer, and it was her idea to start breast cancer game. And since then, we've been doing it ever since.
I've been playing for 4 years. I'm a middle, and I always think it's great to have events like this because we always get our teams pumped up. It's a real big school spirit thing, and we love dressing up for Spirit Days anyway. And it's for a great cause, too. It resonates with me because I've volunteered at hospitals with patients that have breast cancer or their families or people in my family who have had breast cancer. It really resonates with me because I care for those people. People who didn't come this year, it's always a big turnout, and you'll have a lot of fun next year. So we always encourage more people to come.
EBTV once again made the trip down to Trenton for the class of 2012's graduation ceremony. East Brunswick High School not only bid farewell to the class of 2012, but also to Principal Robert Murphy as he retired following the 2012 school year.
And so I'd like to take this opportunity to tip my cap. To tip my cap to this class for what you've accomplished, but more importantly, what I hope you will accomplish in your future. I'd like to offer some simple rules for you to live by. Don't be afraid to laugh at yourself or to laugh at life. Never, ever neglect the little things. Welcome every morning with a smile. As often as possible, be sure to thank those around you for their love and their support. I want to close by extending my congratulations to the class of 2012 and express my gratitude for the outstanding legacy you have left at East Brunswick High School. On behalf of the entire East Brunswick High School staff, I wish you all the best that life can offer and encourage you to stop by and let us know how you're doing. Congratulations and see you real soon.
Samantha R. Johnson. Zhang. Kaylee Chen. Adam Zachary Horowitz. Ray Tong Hu. Samuel H. Mattis.
Also retiring after the 2012 school year was longtime teacher and track coach, Mr. Kevin McAvoy. Athletic Director Frank Knoppenberger spoke with Mr. McAvoy prior to his last home meet as track coach.
We're celebrating two special occasions. Tonight it's senior night for the girls track team as the girls take on Red Division foe Piscataway. And just as important, we're honoring those seniors. We are also honoring a longtime coach, Mr. Kevin McAvoy. Mr. Kevin McAvoy has coached over 80 seasons with the Bears, and he's retiring after 35 years as an outstanding coach and an outstanding educator. Coach, congratulations on your career. And not to say the silly question, but what exactly are you feeling right now?
Pretty excited, Frank. It's traditional in terms of having our senior parents welcomed here on our last home dual meet. My emotion is it's just another dual meet. We're excited to beat the foe. The Piscataway Chiefs are in town. And I think it's going to hit me when it's over, Right. But right now we're fired up. We're ready to go.
And now, Mac, you're finishing your career on a high note, just like you started in 1977 when you and I walked in these doors together. We had the long hair and everything. Now we have short hair and it's gray. But a lot of awards this year, Hall of Fame, Coach of the Year honors. Any predictions for our girls in the upcoming invitationals?
Well, we're getting ready for the GMC relays and the GMC individuals, so we made it clear to the girls tonight that this is your last test to give us an indication as to where you're going to fit on the various teams. Not a prognosticator with regard to how we're going to do, but you know that the Bears always come prepared and we're going to do our best.
That's absolutely right. And Mac, Coach Mac, I just want to say on behalf of all the athletes, the past and the current ones, and your students, Mac, I can't tell you how many times kids come up to me and say, is Mr. Mac still there? I said, yeah. And they said, boy, he was my favorite teacher. They have stories about you in the classroom, what a great teacher you are, especially with that Vietnam class. So on behalf of them, and me as the athletic director, it's a pleasure working with you and everything you've done for the athletic department. We wish you best of luck.
However, the school system's loss is EBTV's gain. Mr. McAvoy became one of EBTV's newest reporters in 2012, and one of his first assignments was to speak with three-time Olympic gold medal winner and East Brunswick High School alumni Heather O'Reilly as she returned home to run a 3-day soccer clinic for the next generation of soccer superstars.
So let me start off with 3 gold medals. Unprecedented in my opinion, and then it begins with Athens, then you go Beijing, then you go London. Just to recap and what your feelings were for all that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great run for me on the national team. Hopefully there's lots more soccer ahead of me, but to play in 3 Olympics for your national team is quite the honor. Starting out in Athens, I was just a young kid, 19 years old, just totally happy to be there, playing with my idols, Mia Hamm, Brandy Chastain, Julie Foudy, and all those women. My career continues in 2008, and we're able to bring home the gold in Beijing, which was a great team win. That was the year that Abby Wambach, probably our best goal scorer, was injured before the tournament. And, we all sort of came together and rallied and won that gold, together as a team. And then, here in 2012, we had London, and again, it was just such a great team win. Everybody contributed in different ways. I was excited to be able to get into the semifinal game and be able to contribute with that assist to Alex Morgan. So I'm very proud of that moment. And we came home with the hardware each time, and that's something to be excited about.
Talking about the hardware, can you express to our viewing audience what it was like at the moment in time you're up on the gold medal stand? You bow your head, they put the gold medal around, the rest of your teammates get the medal. Then the national anthem is played. What was going through your head at that moment?
You know what? It's a complete honor. I mean, they had the Chariots of Fire music going in the background. There's 80,000 people still at Wembley Stadium cheering for us. Magic moment. And the whole time I was just looking around saying, like, never forget this. So I still have those images definitely etched in my brain, hopefully forever and ever. It's just such an honor, and you're so present in that moment that you don't really realize that there's so many people back home that are behind you, supporting you, cheering you on. So that's why when I come back to East Brunswick and hear stories of everybody watching the game and supporting me all the way, it makes me really proud.
How about opening and closing ceremonies? On television, they were unbelievable. What was it like being on the field?
I mean, London really put on a show. I mean, such an exciting time. We were actually not able to be at the opening ceremony because we were preparing for our games elsewhere in the UK. But we were there at closing ceremony as a big party. Everybody's done with their events, and like I said, London really put on a show with all their preparation and all their stars that came out for the closing ceremony. So it was an exciting one to be part of. But I'll tell you this: I'm excited to be home. It's just a very intense experience. A lot of fun, but also it's just nice to take a breath and enjoy some time back home. You know, this is where it sort of all began for me in terms of learning the game, loving the game. You know, some of my teammates that I played with since I was a little girl, I still keep in touch with, and we have such a great relationship through soccer. So it's really a joy to be back, and I've put on a 3-day soccer camp here at Heavenly Farm Fields. So it's just really cool for me to meet some of these young players and have fun and enjoy the game with them and hopefully make an impact on them. I think as an athlete, that's really the coolest thing that I get to do is you know, in a small way, leave an impact on some of these youth.
And from the soccer fields to the basketball court, we now take a look at one of the year's most inspirational stories, the annual Buddy Ball Fast Break basketball game, where special needs children have the opportunity to excel at the sport and have fun doing so. The game was played in honor of former player Finlay Urban, who tragically passed away in 2010 at the age of 10. The game keeps his memory alive and reminds everyone involved how remarkable these children are.
Today the event is actually named after your son. Tell us a little bit about your son and why this event and this whole Buddy Ball system was important to him.
Absolutely. Finlay Urban was our son. He was 10 years old and when he passed away 2 years ago. And he was an active member in the Buddy Ball Basketball League and just loved this program. It just brought huge smiles to his face. And the pals and everybody that support this program, it's critically important, and we're very lucky to have a community like we do in East Brunswick that supports these special children with these types of programs. But we're very honored that they actually named the game in memory of Finlay, and so it's a pleasure for us to be here.
It's meaningful to us because it was the time that he could come and just be a kid. He didn't have to worry about, you know, oh, I have cerebral palsy, I'm in a wheelchair, I can't do this by myself. He had 2 beautiful girls that were his pals, and, you know, that in and of itself was fun. But having the typical peers with them, it enables them to be the best that they are. And I think that's why it was so much fun for him and why it's so important that they named this game after him. It keeps his memory alive.
This is a program that is so vital, as Courtney said, for them to have the opportunity to just be kids and really practice their skills in a typical environment with peers, with their friends, and not have it pressured and have it really be about fun.
Rather than their disabilities,
right.
Rather than their limitations, they're taught not to have limitations here. They're taught to just have fun and just, no matter how well you play the game, that's not the important part. It's just having fun and doing typical things and just putting their worries behind them and their disabilities behind them.
You definitely see a lot of smiles here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right.
They have a lot of fun.
Right.
It's wonderful.
And, you know, it's tough on parents. You work all week, and probably the last thing you want to do is get up in the morning on Saturday and once again go to you know, another activity with the children. But this one is so important, and making the time for it and having the resources and the budget and the availability of a program like this means the difference in the world to these kids.
Well, it gives the kids that are really disabled in other ways, like physically or mentally unable to deal with the stresses of normal sports, and gives them a chance to show what they can do. I mean, they are normally understated as being weak or unable to do it because they do not possess the cognitive ability. And this kind of just shows that they can do just as well with a little bit more encouragement.
It's a special time for them to shine, I would imagine.
Definitely. It basically shows that they can do it, and they will do it if they have enough encouragement. And basically, I've noticed that when it comes to more rec sports like high school and stuff like that, they're very, very more on the competition and less about the actual fun factor. And this basically shows a lot more of the fun factor here.
And once again, EBTV attended the New Jersey Folk Festival.
Tell us a little bit about this exciting festival with a focus on the Bulgarian culture.
Yeah, well, Bulgaria is a small country. It's in southeastern Europe, and to refresh our viewers' memory, it's a small country. It's just north of both Greece and Turkey, and just south of Romania. The capital is Sofia, and many Bulgarians take their summer vacations at the Black Sea. Now, what's interesting is New Jersey has about 113 recognized ethnic groups, but there aren't that many Bulgarians in New Jersey. It's a relatively small group. For a variety of historical reasons, not that many Bulgarians emigrated to the United States. However, we have in New Jersey a large number of native New Jerseyans who are very fond of Bulgarian music, dance, culture, and food. You might say they're Bulgarian buffs. And one of the Bulgarian buffs is our own Bill Selden, who's on the Board of Trustees of the New Jersey Folk Festival Incorporated. And he served as the curator for today's event, where he's rounded up an amazing number of Bulgarian singers, musicians, dancers, and chefs.
And in particular, we've been seeing some folk dances. We've been seeing some wonderful native costumes. Tell us a little bit about some of the performances and things that we can look forward to today.
Yeah, we will have Bulgarian singers, Bulgarian dancers, and the grand finale of the day is a group Zlatni Yuste, which is a Bulgarian brass band. So that should really blow everyone away. It's very loud, very impressive.
Could you tell us a little bit about why you're so excited to have the festival here today?
Sure. This is the 38th Jersey Folk Festival. It's always held on the Douglas campus of Rutgers University in the springtime, the last Saturday of April. For the last 4 or 5 years, it's coincided with a bigger explosion of events at Rutgers called Rutgers Day on all of our campuses, Cook and Douglas and College Avenue and Bush. We expect to have about 75,000 or 80 people here today from all across New Jersey, ending with the spring football game this afternoon in Rutgers Stadium. But right now here at the Jersey Folk Festival, we're celebrating the many, many cultures of New Jersey. This year it's Bulgarian culture. There are many men and women and children of Bulgarian ancestry in New Jersey. Right now I'm expecting the Bulgarian ambassador to the United States to welcome her to Rutgers and to our Jersey Folk Festival. But besides Bulgarian culture, all of the cultures of our great New Jersey communities are represented here, and we at Rutgers are just so proud to have this on our campus.
And it kind of matches your theme of Jersey Roots.
It does. Jersey Roots Global Reach, a slogan that we came up with a few years ago to illustrate our deep roots in New Jersey, but our commitment to providing our students with an education that prepares them for life in a global society. And the Jersey Folk Festival contributes to doing that.
2012 was also an election year on both the national and local levels, and EBTV was on the campaign trail, hosting live debates and meet the candidate profiles for the mayoral, town council, and Board of Education races. Democrat David Stahl was re-elected for a second term as mayor, and incumbent Democrat candidates Denise Contrino and Nancy Pinkin retained their seats on the town council. The 3 Board of Ed candidates ran unopposed, with former teacher and current EBTV volunteer Kevin McAvoy receiving the most votes. Alicia Joy Bloom asked the mayor and council members what their plans are for the township following their re-election.
What do you envision for the future of East Brunswick?
I've always thought the East Brunswick future is bright. I envision that we continue to provide for the same services that our children need, whether it's, again, through the recreation department, the library, whatever they like to do, and also make sure that our active adults have the facilities they need. Our senior center is top-notch, so that's one of my goals in terms of the future. And to do that, you have to protect our economic future. One of my key things when I became mayor was to become fiscally conservative as to our budget, because again, the economic times we live in. Can't borrow against the future. Don't want to burden, our future generations, whether you're at the national level. It also comes to play here in East Brunswick at the local level. I've taken no one-shot gimmicks to balance our budget. It's been a lot of hard work, but that's the way that you ensure that the future's there for the children of East Brunswick.
Well, my goals going forward are to still continue to hammer away at the fiscal responsibility. Now, how do you deal with the issue of ratables? How do we find out, if one town has more ratables than the other, how do we straighten that out so that we can find tax relief?
I mean, tax relief is our #1 issue. There's no doubt about it. I think and it's not just something that we can do. We can only do our part. Our part is a small percentage of the budget. It's about 20%. But we have to be able to look at the other areas as well and look at the state level and be able to address those things.
You know, I'd really like to continue to work with the mayor, as I've done, and administration, to reduce spending while at the same time finding ways to maintain our infrastructure. You know, it's so important to maintain our infrastructure, our parks, our roads, you know, our buildings, and I would like to continue working with them to do that. I've worked with the mayor to reduce spending the last 4 budgets. We've gone from $64 million to just under $56 million this year. And we've done this while maintaining services and completing projects like Pine Ridge Park, paving new roads, new sewer lines, new water lines, adding a level playing field to Heavenly Farms, a comfort station, and purchasing open space such as Forder Farm.
Staying in the political realm, East Brunswick welcomed Governor Chris Christie to town in June for one of the governor's town hall meetings. Barbara Reese was on hand to cover the event as a standing room only crowd packed the East Brunswick Jewish Center.
And so we came up with this idea to do it this way and to travel all across the state. I've been to 20 of our 21 counties. I swear, Salem County, I'm coming. I'll get there. The only one I've missed so far, but I'm in the 20 of the 21 counties and talking to people and you know, hearing from all of you about the things that are on your mind, what you're concerned about, what's important to you. And it helps to keep me in touch with the people who actually sent me here to do this job. And I will tell you that I have a soft place in my heart for Middlesex County. You know, I remember when I was running for governor, everybody told me, you're a Republican, forget Middlesex County. There's no way you're gonna do well here, let alone win here. And I wanna say thank you to all of you, because for the first time since Governor Tom Kaine's re-election in 1985, a candidate for governor on the Republican Party ticket won Middlesex County in 2009. I want to thank the mayor for being here. Appreciate his hard work. It's not easy. Not easy in these times being at any level of government. And I appreciate the mayor's hard work, and I thank him for being here today. He's doing a good job.
So, Mayor, it's an exciting event here today. The governor's in town. Tell us why this is a great day for East Brunswick to have a town hall.
I always think it's important for residents to have the opportunity to speak to their elected officials. I mean, East Brunswick, it's easy. Whether it's myself or council members, we live here, we're very accessible. I think it's fantastic the governor's coming to East Brunswick to hold a town hall meeting to hear from the residents of East Brunswick what their concerns are. It's a great day for East Brunswick.
And what are some of the things that you hope that the governor might cover that deal with East Brunswick?
Look, I think always the things that concern people is obviously about our taxes. You know, you read in the papers again today, the governor's projections, and the office representing the OLM, I think is saying that the budget numbers are somewhat different, at least from my perspective. I mean, I want to know what the budget's going to look like in Trenton, and I think the residents do too, because ultimately taxes are always important. It gets down to what we can afford, whether it's in the state or in East Brunswick. So I think that's going to be some of the concerns, and obviously some of the reforms that have been ongoing in Trenton, and just to get an update as to what the issues are from the local resident standpoint and hear what the governor's feedback is on that.
And what does it say about our township that people are so, it's a big crowd that they're here listening to political issues that others may not listen to?
Look, from my experience, East Brunswick residents are never shy about speaking their minds about whatever their concerns are. They certainly reach out to the mayor on whatever the issues are. I think this is indicative of the concerns that East Brunswick has, and it's good to have an active community. You know, you don't want a community that just sits back and really just doesn't really get involved, and I think the show, the turnout today of all the residents here, which is larger than the governor's office actually expected, I think speaks well for the residents of East Brunswick.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, and thanks for covering the event as always.
It's always good when you can get the governor into our hometown where we all live and some of us work. Got a lot of people coming in from other towns, see a lot of people from Milltown, but a large number of people from East Brunswick here. Really says a lot about the town. I mean, we're very civically minded here. Appreciate the opportunity to listen to the governor, see what he has to say moving forward, and really hear about what he's got in store to really help East Brunswick residents.
And what's the message here for us as residents here? What's the message that Governor Christie's trying to get across today?
Well, he's joined the fight the town council's been fighting for, which is to make East Brunswick a more affordable place to live, a better place to raise your family, and just a greater town overall. Governor has been able to put some policies in place that allowed us to really have a budget this year that was able to decrease taxes and keep allowing municipalities and towns to have the flexibility they need to lower the tax rate and the tax burden on the citizens that live here.
And what are some of the issues you're hoping generally that he covers here today?
Hoping he covers tax relief, hoping he covers property taxes. Those are the two biggest issues to East Brunswick. But also, I'm hoping he covers school funding, which is a big topic as well. I know we've got our superintendent here and our business administrator. I think a lot of what he has to say is going to resonate with people in East Brunswick, and they're going to be really happy to hear what he's got.
So a win-win for East Brunswick today.
Win-win for East Brunswick, especially as a Republican in East Brunswick.
We also saw local freeholder H. James Polos push to make our roads in East Brunswick and Middlesex County safer for all residents with a pair of traffic safety laws. The Distracted Driver Law is a partnership between East Brunswick and Old Bridge aiming to increase awareness about the dangers of driving while using a cell phone or other devices that may take your attention off the road.
This Middlesex County, East Brunswick, Old Bridge Don't Drive Distracted initiative is going to be focused again in the townships of East Brunswick and Old Bridge because it is the summer route, as we call it, down to the shore. During the course of the summer, the officers of these two fine departments will be actively looking for those who are driving distracted. When they're pulled over, they'll be issued a ticket, a summons, much like the one that you see here, the sample that's before me. They'll be told that they can go to a website and be able to view a very powerful web video about the dangers of distracted driving. By doing that and registering online, they're going to be given only a warning and no fine. If they do not participate, then the fine will be issued. It also does not encumber the police departments from issuing summonses for any other violation that driver may have at that point. But the goal and purpose of the distracted driving element of enforcement here is to educate the driver about the dangers of doing that type of driving.
We see in the township all the time as our officers investigate serious motor vehicle accidents that a very large amount of the time these accidents are caused because of driver behaviors. People are not paying attention to what they should be, and that is driving. They're on the phone, they're looking at papers, we're putting on makeup in the morning. There's a wide variety of activities that people engage in while they're driving cars, and unfortunately, they lead to very serious consequences. And then the officers of the police department are required to go out and try to clean that up. I think this initiative is an outstanding way to educate the public as to what the dangers are. We all think it's not going to happen to us until it does. The good thing about the program is that it does not automatically require us issuing summonses to people, which tends to just make people mad, but they may not get the message. The whole focus of the program is educating the public on how to operate the vehicle safely.
Freeholder Polos also discussed the Move Over law after a New Jersey state trooper was tragically killed in the line of duty after being hit by a passing car during a routine traffic stop.
This event today and this initiative is something that occurred as a result of a woman who I heard speak back in October of 2011. The fact is that we had endeavored approximately 2 years ago on creating an initiative that would involve the Pan Gregorian Enterprises Restaurant Association and the development of a placemat and coloring page to try to promote traffic safety. Now, some of you may say, well, why a placemat and coloring page? Well, as the father of 3 young girls, I can tell you that there isn't a time that I don't go into a restaurant or a diner, and the first thing that I ask for is the coloring page with the crayons for the kids. I see smiles in the audience, and I know you all do the same. Well, when we get that coloring page, the first thing that I always do is I work with the kids to do the coloring or to answer the questions or figure out the word puzzles. So what better way to get the message across about traffic safety than to put something in the hands of children that parents will interact with? And that's how this initiative became a reality. We were set to do a traffic safety initiative on pedestrian safety, bicycle safety, and bus safety. But in October, at a Highway Traffic Safety Advisory Committee meeting that I attended in South Jersey, I'm a member of that committee, I heard a woman get up and speak with passion and with heart. Brought tears to my eyes as she spoke about her son who was lost as a result of a fatal accident as he was on the side of the road doing law enforcement work and was hit by a driver going by. Mark Castellano, as you can see from the photo in front of me, a very handsome, hardworking, dedicated trooper, wife, children, a role model for many in law enforcement. Life taken in a moment as a result of a driver driving too close to the side of the road and hitting him. I heard his mom, Donna Sotaro, speak, as I said, with passion and heart at that event. I don't think there was a dry eye in the audience as we understood the importance of this issue and making sure that people realize the dangers that exist for those who are on the sides of our road, in many instances, rendering aid. And I thought back years ago as a former captain of the rescue squad in Highland Park, how many times I had been out on a call, many times on rainy days like today, wondering if I was going to get hit or one of my crew was going to get hit as we were trying to render aid to an individual on the side of the road. So the danger is very real. Lives are lost every year. Injuries occur as a result of this very serious predicament. This move-over law that was created is something that has true significance and importance, and it can save lives and can reduce injuries.
I realized early on that there was a law on the books and few people knew about it. One of the laws that might have saved my son if more drivers did know about it. And I meet people every day and they said, "You're doing a great job getting that law." And I said, I didn't have to get the law. It was already there. But we've done a very poor job of educating the public. It became my mission at that point to educate the public about this law. No mom, no wife, no children should go through what my family's going through. Since then, along with the state police, and I have to thank them because without their help, we wouldn't be this far. And we've come a long way, but we have a very long way to go.
Local lawmakers Rush Holt and Patrick Dagnan were also frequent visitors to the township, and both representatives were on hand in January as the East Brunswick Public Library was recognized as one of the leading libraries in the state for job seekers.
Today, the head of the Institute of Museum and Library Services, Susan Heldreth, came to New Jersey and wanted to know what was a particularly good example of a library that is meeting the community needs for job seekers. And we said, East Brunswick. There are really dozens and dozens of libraries around this state that are heavily used for people who are trying to brush up their skills or find a match for their skills, in other words, for job hunting. And this is a particularly good example. I don't need to go over the economic crisis and the unemployment crisis, and crisis is not too strong a word, that we're facing in the country. But it often goes unnoticed just how important libraries are in addressing this crisis. According to one survey, 95% of New Jersey's libraries help people access, 95%, so that's virtually all, help people access and use employment services, help them in their job searches, in creating resumes, in submitting employment applications, in doing online interviews, and so forth. And that's why some of us have introduced the Workforce Investment Through Local Libraries Act. It's known as the WILL Act. It would help local libraries assist in our national economic recovery. The legislation recognizes the role, strengthens the internet access to enable job searches, resume development, make sure that the libraries have the resources that are particularly targeted at job hunting, at professional skills development, and so forth.
When people think East Brunswick, anywhere in the state, two things they immediately say.
the schools, and the library. This is really, really a unique, and we were talking about this particular program. You talk about meeting the needs, being innovative, and being able to generate some necessary funding at the same time. And, thank you, Congressman, for all you do for us and for this effort. It's not a good news story in the state of New Jersey right now. It is not. And East Brunswick is the poster child of what has gone on in terms of raiding the funds for your public schools, what the Board of Education has put aside, reduced state aid, and now reduced aid in terms of libraries. We as a state have got to get our priorities back in order. And again, I just want to thank the Congressman for calling his attention, and thank you in East Brunswick for all you do. You are the model. And I'm not saying that as baloney. You are the model of what an efficient library is about and the services. There are folks out there that actually think that libraries are obsolete. It's crazy when you hear these conversations. When you hear a program or read about a program like this, you reinforce the fact not only are they not obsolete, they're more essential today than ever.
In 2012, EBTV celebrated the 1500th edition of this show, This Week in East Brunswick. This weekly show is a reflection of the community, and it takes a community to create it. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the many people who make this show possible. EBTV thanks Trish LaDuca and John McMenamin for their regular contributions of the In Our Schools stories. Thanks to Sharon Riley Morosi at the Senior Center for producing the Voice of Experience segments. And to Patrolman Craig Hoover at the Police Department for his new series, Street Smart. Encouraging residents to shop locally, Mayor David Stahl has produced more than 50 editions of Business Spotlight. Thanks to the mayor for this informative series. If you own a business in town and would like to appear with the mayor, just give the station a call at 732-390-6780. Many people don't realize that EBTV relies on dozens of volunteers for on-camera talent. This year, volunteer reporters and hosts contributed more than 400 hours to make EBTV programming possible. 2012's volunteer reporters for This Week in East Brunswick include Vivian Leung, Ken Friedman, Alicia Joy Bloom, Adam Neary, Candy Chow, Kevin McAvoy, and Sherry Garrettson. Thanks to Sydney Contrino for producing the popular Project Pet series at the Halmetta Animal Shelter, and for helping many of our less fortunate furry friends to find good homes. Many thanks to all for volunteering their time and talent to make our weekly news show possible. EBTV produced almost 200 original shows watched by thousands of residents in 2012. We have half a dozen very dedicated hosts to thank for our regular monthly programs, including Professor Angus Cress Gillespie, producer of Old Ways in New Jersey, Ken Soroka and Frank Knoppenberger, hosts of Sports Talk, and Ken Friedman, president of the Township's Advisory Health Council and host of Wellness Spotlight. Thanks to all those who make EBTV coverage of East Brunswick High School sports possible: Ken Soroka, Rich Whalen, Phil Peterson, Kevin McAvoy, Bob Cancro, Jeff Yanazzo, Stu Cohn, Cindy Todoroff, John Alba, Katie Mataseski, and especially for coordinating all the games, Supervisor of Athletics, Frank Knoppenberger. And finally, thanks to Barbara Reese, who with more than 70 hours volunteered the most time of any volunteer, hosting Totally East Brunswick and reporting on dozens of news stories. We thank all of our volunteers and everyone else who has participated in programming this year and helped EBTV to reflect the diversity, resources, and connections that make this community our home. We here at EBTV wish you and yours a bright and happy new year. And as always, thanks for watching.